Welcome back to another explainer. Okay, today we're unpacking a truly fascinating paradox. I want you to imagine a highly analytical, brilliantly logical engineer working at Google. Arguably one of the most data-driven, mathematically obsessed companies on the entire planet, right? Now imagine that exact same engineer creating a corporate curriculum dedicated to emotional intelligence, inner peace, and ultimately, world peace. Sounds completely contradictory, doesn't it? Well, it's really not. Today, we're exploring a profoundly transformative program that strips away all the mysticism of meditation and replaces it with highly actionable, scientifically backed protocols. Let's get right into it.
So here's our syllabus for today. First, we'll hit the unexpected path. Then move into the science of change, break down the 3 core steps, examine the tangible ROI of being liked, and finally, look at the big one, changing the world.
Starting right off with Section 1, the unexpected path. To really grasp why this program works so well, we've got to look at exactly where it came from.
So the absolute mastermind behind this entire program is Google engineer Shadmang Tan. Now, Mang was famously known around Google as the singular engineer with high enough social intelligence to make literally any visitor feel instantly at home. But it wasn't just his natural charm. He possessed this magical combination, brilliant systems analysis paired with a total heart of gold. See, he didn't just want to be happy himself. His instinct was to take the benefits of his own inner search and reverse engineer them into a practical, step-by-step pathway. Something that his fellow highly logical engineers could easily follow.
And listen, if you've got any lingering doubts about whether this is just some woo-woo, new age spirituality dressed up as corporate training, check this out. Eric Schmidt, the executive chairman of Google, explicitly stated that this book and course represent one of the greatest aspects of Google's culture. He said it proves that one individual with a great idea can really change the world. So yeah, this isn't just theory, folks. This is a highly respected, road-tested corporate curriculum that fundamentally transformed how top-tier performers operate under immense pressure. It is deeply, deeply practical.
And that undeniable practicality brings us to Section 2, the science of change. We're stepping off the meditation cushion and heading straight into the biology lab.
The absolutely crucial concept bridging that gap is neuroplasticity. For the longest time, it was generally assumed that your emotional set point was pretty much fixed before adulthood. Like if you were naturally a stressed or anxious person, well, that was just your hardwiring. But the science says otherwise. Neuroplasticity is the phenomenon where the brain actually reorganizes its very structure and activity in response to meditative training. Meaning you can literally shift your brain's physical set point toward greater emotional intelligence, balance, and resilience. It's a total game changer.
And the best part? You don't have to quit your job and move to a remote monastery for 10,000 hours to see these changes. No way. A landmark study by neuroscientist Richie Davidson and mindfulness expert John Kabat-Zinn found something amazing. They showed that people in a standard corporate work setting who practiced mindfulness for just 8 weeks, literally just 8 weeks, showed a measurable shift in their prefrontal cortex. They observed significant structural benefits in the brain that moved in the exact same direction as monks who had practiced for decades. That is wild.
For the engineering types among us, here's the absolute best way to conceptualize what's actually happening during those 8 weeks. Think of it as a massive upgrade to your internal network. Mindfulness basically increases the bandwidth and information flow between the thinking brain and the emotional brain. It helps these two centers communicate so much more clearly so they work better together. It actually cranks up the power output of the regulation systems in your brain, literally allowing you to calm your mind on demand.
Which naturally leads us right into Section 3, the 3 core steps. So how do we actually pull this off? What does this look like in practice?
Let's look at how this builds. This is the exact 3-step curriculum taught over at Google. Step 1 is attention training. Look, attention is the absolute foundation of all higher cognitive abilities. You train your attention to create a mind that is calm and clear at the exact same time. Step 2 is self-knowledge and self-mastery. Once your attention is dialed in, you can observe your own thought streams and emotions completely objectively, sort of like a third-person observer, This high-resolution perception gives you incredible mastery over your reactions. And finally, Step 3 is creating useful mental habits.
To really master Step 3, imagine if your habitual, instinctive first thought whenever you met anybody was simply, I wish for this person to be happy. Now I know, in the cutthroat corporate world, that sounds almost hopelessly naive. But Meng argues something really fascinating here. He says that volitionally training simple mental habits like this, unconscious, sincere goodwill, radically transforms workplace trust. When you habitually wish for others to be happy, that sincere goodwill is unconsciously picked up by your colleagues. It literally strips away friction and paves the way for incredibly productive, seamless collaborations.
Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, but what's in it for my career? That brings us to Section 4, the ROI of being liked. Let's talk tangible returns on your investment.
There's this super pervasive corporate myth that the most effective way to get things done is to just act like a total jerk. But research by leadership scholars shows the exact opposite. The single factor that differentiates the top quartile of managers from the bottom is high scores on affection. They show genuine warmth. We just naturally work harder and more effectively for people we genuinely like. This perfectly illustrates that even Lord Vader would be much more effective if he were, a bit more likable. You really don't have to choose between being successful and being liked. Emotional intelligence actually gives you both.
And hey, the real-world results from Google employees who took this course absolutely back this up. For example, engineering manager Bill Duane learned to manage his time and temper so effectively that he dropped his working hours down to 4 days a week and still got promoted. Then there's Blaise Paban, a sales engineer. He became so incredibly calm at overcoming objections that his credibility with customers just skyrocketed. And beyond stellar work performance, ordinary participants reported profound personal benefits too, from successfully managing the immense grief of losing a loved one to vastly improving the quality of their marriages. Emotional intelligence literally upgrades your entire life.
Finally, we've reached Section 5, changing the world. Because yes, there is a profound macro goal to this entire curriculum.
Chade-Meng Tan has this very funny but deeply sincere ultimate ambition. He often jokes that you can save the world in your free time, but his very real goal is to make the benefits of meditation as accessible and as totally mainstream as physical exercise. Think about it for a second. A few decades ago, jogging was considered this weird fringe activity, right? And now, physical fitness is universally accepted. Well, Meng wants mental and emotional fitness to reach that exact same level of global acceptance. He fundamentally believes that if we all search inside ourselves, world peace is just an inevitable byproduct.
To really summarize the profound impact of this work, we have this powerful perspective from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. If you change the habitual patterns of your mind, you can change the resulting attitudes and emotions and find peace and inner happiness. Blending ancient meditative practice with the contemporary, scientifically backed field of emotional intelligence truly gives us the power to change the conditions of our minds. By rewriting your habitual patterns, you directly cultivate peace, both internally and out in the wider world.
So, I want to leave you with this provocative thought today. Knowing that your brain is highly plastic, knowing that you are absolutely not stuck with your current emotional set point, and knowing that it only takes roughly 20 hours of classroom time spread out over 8 weeks to fundamentally upgrade your mental hardware. If you could change the physical structure of your brain starting today, what mental habits would you choose to build? Think on that. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep searching, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.